just received the conclusion to Ty West's X Trilogy, so it's time to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. Welcome to Cinema, where we focus on the film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know in the comments below how you would rank Ty West's X Trilogy from your least favorite to favorite, whether X, Pearl, or Maxxxine, and everything in between. Let me know your thoughts on the trilogy as a whole. Is it good, bad, or somewhere right in the middle? Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. Join the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. But going right into it, in last place we have X. Now this is a good film for the nature of what it's going after, having some great psycho-inspired tale that is great for where it's going after. I still enjoy everything that it has as a whole, so even though it's in last place, it's just the lesser of the greater film that this trilogy has to offer, going about different plot lines that it has a derogatory nature of being a pornographic film that is not appealing for me, but it still has its clever elements, and upon rewatch becomes rewatchable, at least for what I'm getting more out of it now that I know where to go with it, what to expect going into it. And while it has those parts I don't like, it has some clever moments that are original, and also taking off the MacGuffins of the Psycho film and pulling that into this, being self-aware of once it says something within the universe, it pulls that in and applies that to the film itself, being clever in its wits and also frightening by the nature of where it pulls these psychotic girls and comparing them to the grandma of this film, and as well as Maxxine's character as well. Well, we're also getting this film crew, which each of them have their own quirks and hateable ideas for each of everything it has to go. And in the late 70s, it pulls off a great setting. Even if most of it is taking place on this secluded farmhouse, it properly handles what it has to offer for the film as a whole. And coming in number 2, we have Maxxxine. Now, I just enjoy this for the nature of what it pulls off of things that are similar to Scream 6 or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, pulling in this Hollywood setting for this X franchise, and what you get out of the different ideas that's not necessarily a slasher, but adding in this murder mystery where you have to figure out the killer and also apply Maxxine's story to becoming an aspiring actress, builds up these interesting tropes along the way, giving some neat little ideas that keep me invested, want me sort of cheering for a Maxxine plot, while also not necessarily getting everything from a certain focus that you expected this film to go. And so what it builds out of the Night Stalker as a character, and the twist that goes and uncovers itself by the end, adds in some great elements that pulls off and pulls this trilogy together as the conclusion to this trilogy, making it a satisfying ending that I just highly enjoyed for what it has to offer as a whole. Leading me into the number 1, we have Pearl. Now this was intriguing just for the subsequent nature of taking the villain of sorts of X and taking us all the way back to the mid-1910s, and how that pulls into the story in the base of World War I, and just all the characters we get out of that. Just this character that's waiting for her husband to get back home, while also having to face her mother, who is really strict and trying to be loving, but is too strict in all of her standards, and how that is pulling into the play of her trauma and everything. You're sort of starting to side with the girl that's really pulling off. Maya Goth is in her best role here, delivers on everything the script asks from her, and brings in some great subsequent nature to what you can feel and empathize with, and almost cheer for her to get away from her mother, but also not want to, because she is a psychotic nature type of character, knowing where she is going in the future, making you wish that it's not going to happen in the way that it's flowing out for her. And so that's where it builds upon this intensity that this film has to offer, pulling off some surprising actions along the way, some fresh kills that really elevates the film and the tension of this as a horror film, making it just heightened in experience and great within the way Ty West brings in the cinematography, its colors, and the camera work as a whole, tying in all of this old nature, old style cinema love for this film as a whole, bringing out a mix of different small genres, a touch of romance in the film as a whole, making it my #1 film of the X Trilogy. So that's just my ranking of the X Trilogy from my least favorite to my favorite. Let me know down in the comments below how you would rank the film. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're already, join the film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. So that's just all. Make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.